Going to move on next to ASIF HUSSAIN, who is the Director, MENA region at SILVERPUSH, who's going to be talking to us now about humanizing the AI in Adtech and artificial intelligence. As we know, once the stuff of science fiction, ladies and gents, is now a reality. So we're learning, we're adapting, we're integrating into the very fabric of our lives, this AI. But if humans weren't involved, what would AI really be? This is what ASIF is going to go into detail about. So ASIF has got over 30 years experience in the advertising and communication industry. He's been a transformative force in the MENA region. Over the past 7 years, he's been playing a pivotal role at SILVERPUSH, driving innovation and excellence. So looking forward to this chat. So ASIF, welcome to the stage. Please put your hands together, everyone, for ASIF.
Hello, good morning. How are you guys? All right, so I've got two good news to begin with. The first good news, coffee break right after the session, right? Second good news, well, let me try to make this session less jargon, simple as we can, right? Just before we talk about, we've been talking about AI. Let me just give you a little preview in terms of what artificial intelligence is and how the advertising world is changing completely because of the artificial intelligence as we see. But I see that AI is going to be the new normal in advertising. And I don't get into any meetings today, whether it's brand, ad agencies, which is not talking about advertising, which is not talking about AI. Well, no wonder. 300% surge in global investments of AI-powered advertising. No wonder everyone is actually trying to understand how do we effectively use AI in advertising. So yes, today we are going to talk about something very interesting. But just before that, can I request something? Can you just close your eyes for a second and just imagine AI? Just imagine AI, right? No, don't worry, not a yoga session. I mean, just imagine AI. How do you visualize AI? What do you see when you think of AI, right? I'm sure you must have. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask answers from you. This is how, oh, has anybody ever thought AI to be this friendly, this unique, this creative? Sadly, no. Very honestly, artificial intelligence today is regarded so technical, right? And I'm sure when you guys must be thinking about AI, you guys must be thinking about some bot, some robot. Trust me, I mean, that's how we look at AI, right? Now imagine this bot, this technical AI image which we have in our mind is actually going to make a difference to our human race, right? So I think today's topic is the most important topic, and thanks for bringing that topic here for us this evening. And that is, how do we humanize the AI? And here at SILVERPUSH, we're trying our level best to make every effort to humanize the AI. I think it's time enough for the AI to understand us as humans. I think we've understood AI enough. Not enough, but the fact remains it's important for we to humanize the artificial intelligence. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to be talking about three important aspects of Adtech, or advertising, which is trending, of course. And we're going to be talking today how we could humanize these three important aspects in our advertising industry, right? The first important is contextual. Now, I completely understand, don't worry, we all understand contextual, not here to talk about contextual at all. I completely understand that contextual is extremely important for all of us here. Now, the fact remains, how do we humanize this entire fantastic trend of contextual advertising? give you an example. So a brand approached us saying that the brief was, it's a tea brand, a very, very famous tea brand approached us and said that, look, you know what? One of a very important study says that besides the other thing, tea is one thing which we feel that we should, we inspire and we drink. So if you see somebody drinking a cup of tea, and in Dubai we are quite tea addicts actually, to be very honest, you know. Like in the morning, sometimes I decide to just go and not have that, what you call the masala karak chai. But the minute you're passing by to so many cafeterias selling it, you actually feel like having one. That's the same scenario, and that's the same research which found out that tea is something which when you see somebody having it, you feel like having it as well. Now that's the brief. Now I want you guys to again imagine with me that let's see, this is the brief, and we need to be contextual on this brief, right? So when we talk about contextual, context buckets and all of that, what do we think? We think tea, we think about food, recipes, because that's what context is all about at a platform level, to be very fair, right? Now, the brief was to us that we want to make it very personal, and we want to make sure that there's a moment of truth, whatever platform you're using, and that moment of truth needs to be identified. Now, this is exactly where the AI plays a very important role. The AI identified amazing kind of a content on a YouTube platform, gave us videos, movie scenarios, web series, a lot of those content where there were moments where the consumer was actually relaxed and having a cup of a tea, right? And this is what we call as moment of truth, and this is what we call the hyper-contextual advertising. Now, SILVERPUSH specializes in hyper-contextual advertising. The reason is because contextual may not be enough for us to fit into every single strategy, and hence, to humanize the AI, it's essential for us to identify and select a context which is human enough, and then if we serve ads, obviously, this was in one of the MMA entries. We obviously won. That was somewhere last year. And I believe these campaigns do make a lot of difference because here we're not talking just context, but we're talking about movements and identifying through artificial intelligence. There's another great subject everybody is talking about, suitability. Now, I completely understand suitability is so important. Brand suitability, as we call it, is so, so crucial. Now, how do we humanize brand suitability? It's a question. How do we do that? Let me give you another example. So we had another client coming to us and said, look, we want to sell credit cards. So, okay, fantastic. That sounds easy. We want to sell credit cards. These specific credit cards are for football addicts. I said, that's easy again. But then they came to us and said, no, we want specifically football addicts who want to go to the FIFA World Cup. This is a FIFA brief. And I said, good. The fourth layer, they said we would want to target those people who like a specific team. I said, okay, that sounds interesting. Then they said, we want to specifically target those consumers who like a specific football player as well. I said, wow, this is sounding really interesting. Now, you see so many layers, right? We're talking about selling a credit card in the first place. Now, imagine once again, we have to do this brief through contextual. Now, when we talk about contextual, we talk about football, we talk about credit card, we talk about money, we talk about finance, we talk about all those things. We go to the platform and say, hey, give me contextual advertising inventory, and this is what probably they give us. But that's exactly what we don't want to do in SILVERPUSH, because we feel contextual is not enough, and we need to be hyper-contextual. And hence, the artificial intelligence got into the platform and actually identified movements where Mohamed Salah was identified in specific, having a goal, and the audience cheering up as well. Now, you see, once again, a moment of truth, because this is the euphoria moment, if you call it, where the audience is excited, the audience is seeing a game, the audience is super excited that the goal has happened. And right there and there, you're actually serving an ad saying, do you want to go to FIFA World Cup? This is the time. So I think hyper-contextual, AI is playing such an important role in hyper-context. And now, what I'm trying to explain is, it's not about you should not be doing contextual advertising, or we should not be doing open advertising. All we are saying is, you should also be doing hyper-contextual advertising, because that's one way to humanize your advertising approach as well. Let me move to the other phase of trend today. Engagement is a very, very important thing. And I heard some amazing words in our previous sessions when it came to AI and how humanizing and amazing things. So I think engagement is a very important aspect. In fact, the whole advertising world today is called the Marcom world. Why is it called the Marcom? Because we want to communicate to our audiences, but beyond that, we want the consumers to communicate to us equally. And that's the reason why we call the Marcom world, right? Marcom is marketing communications, where we want consumers to equally connect with us. Now, the whole AI, we would feel that AI should be more human when it's communicating to the consumers, because ultimately, humans are communicating to the AI ultimately, right? So your brand is advertising. It's your brand which is advertising. And it's important that as a consumer feels a human is communicating to me, and not a bot is communicating to me. A bot could be communicating, but the whole idea is to give a very important aspect, the feeling of humans communicating to each other. And I think that should be a very important aspect of AI, humanizing communication for the artificial intelligence. I'll give you another example. How do we humanize communication in SILVERPUSH? Traditionally, a travel portal came to us and says that, look, we want to target certain specific consumers, but we don't want, this is very interesting, okay? We don't want them to go to our landing page. I said, oh, whoa, why? He said, you know what? Reason is because we might have a creative which talks about Paris, for example, right? And when he gets into a landing page, he gets distracted. He gets confused, because on that landing page, probably a bit of Paris, a bit of Switzerland, a bit of Dubai, a bit of everything in there. You see, this is how our consumers that get distracted, to be very honest. Because a landing page has to have more information than just one single information, in fact, for that matter. So we said, fine, what do you want to do? Saying, can we shorten the consumer journey? Say, yeah, it's quite possible. So what we did was, the two important aspects which we did here. In this case study, what we did was, we actually created a chatbot on the advertisement itself without taking the consumers to a landing page, and where we could actually, we could talk to the consumers, right, directly. Where do you want to go? How many days you would want to stay? Not taking them away from the ad itself, made the interaction more super. And we tried this concept in a lot of other industries as well. Automotive, we could actually derive a lot of test drives, to be very honest. But once again, you're not taking them anywhere. You're just making sure that the ad level itself, we answer as many as questions we would want to without taking them anywhere else. Now, the most important aspect is, I would want you to see is, it's not just about not taking them to a landing page, but the question is, how do we communicate? And this is the most important thing, is we need to ensure that whatever communication we are doing, that communication needs to be human enough. Let me give you an example, right? Let's assume we have a chatbot integrated with a hospital or a clinic for that matter. I'm sure we at some point of time have apps now to book appointments with doctors and everything. And I wonder, so many times, when I get on an app, a bot is actually talking to me. right? In a most simple manner, saying that book an appointment, that's it, this doctor, sorry, doctor not available. What if the chatbot is a little more human, asking us questions, hey, how are you? Hope you're keeping well, right? A simple sentence of hope you're keeping well. Hope there's no emergency, right? How can we help you? If there's an emergency, do let me know and how we could help you. You see, this is how we need to humanize the conversations. We don't really need to be talking very complicated things. All we need to do is, when it comes to AI conversation, we just need, as a human being talks to people, we just need to use the same kind of a language. Personality injection, very, very important. I think we need to program the AI in such a way that we could understand people's personality, traits, use a bit of a humor if possible, casual language. Remember, Gen Zs are going to be coming very soon and taking over our markets, and we've got to be very conscious. Gen Z, we're going to be marketing to them. So hence, language is very important in terms of the content, in terms of the conversation that we're talking about. Empathy, I just spoke about the hospital example, in fact, for that matter. We need to have a language. And no wonder the research shows that majority of the communications do extremely well if it's based on emotional patterns, facial expressions, sentimental speeches, humor, very, very essential. It's a TikTok world today. But communication, when it comes to the AI level, suddenly become very techy. Not really. We could probably have a way of using humor, empathy, if possible, in our AI communication. Right, so the future of Adtech is obviously impressive, it's fun. We would want AI to be more like humans, to be very fair, rather than, we want to, behave more like bots, and AI, let AI become more human for all of us. And I think at SilverPush, every single day, we're trying to approach brands and we're trying to tell them that how do we make life and your campaigns a little bit more human. So I hope you guys enjoyed the session today. If you have any questions, happy to answer them. I hope it was a great session for you guys. Thank you. I was on time.